Previously on WandaVision.
Not saying previously on the episode previously on WandaVision. Also, play that again and tell me Elizabeth Olsen herself doesn't sound like she's bored with these tediously on WandaVision segments.
Previously on WandaVision.
She throws that voiceover away like it's a gum wrapper she found in an old jacket.
These are runes, Wanda. Only the witch that casts the runes can use her magic.
Spoiling your own show by what you put in the previously on segment. This backbreaking pose.
Hayward's gonna burn Westview to the ground just to get what he wants.
Sure, so Hayward appears to not be that great, but he may have legitimate reasons for his actions. We don't know. I like that the show leaves his villainy a bit nuanced and doesn't feel the need for him to do something truly evil and drastic like, oh, I don't know, attempted child murder.
This is chaos magic, Wanda.
See, we know that Agatha is bad because she has extensions, dark makeup, and this sock neck.
I take power from the undeserving. It's kind of my thing.
And kind of vague. What does undeserving even mean? On a scale of Super Bowl 41 Peyton Manning to Green Book, exactly how undeserving is Wanda, and why? Once you focus on Albino Vision's costume crotch floss, you really do feel bad for the undeniable chafing that must be taking place after each footfall. His poor underbits.
Is it really you?
Asks the mind reader easily capable of a quick scanneroo.
Wanda.
Why is Caucasian here pretending like he cares about Wanda at all instead of just sneaking up on her and taking her out?
And I was told you were powerful.
She is, which is why this damsel in distress setup is all the more infuriating. Deus ex ocula?
I can fix it.
Can you?
Yes, she can! Wanda Builder. Jeez, Disney, you don't even own that property. There's nothing sacred. Like pretty much every villain before him, Robo Blanco just saunters out of a fire after hanging out there for a while and waiting for the conversation to end before attacking. You could almost make an excuse for humans who may want to showboat, but he's a computer with a directive, dang it. It wouldn't be a Marvel property without same fighting same in the finale, complete with quick cuts in CG. And with Wanda and Agatha later, it happens twice. Here I thought this show might escape those tropes, but nope, Proverbs 26:11 comes through again. And no, I'm not going to look it up for you. And yes, it does include a puke reference, because the Bible is hardcore like that.
You must be destroyed.
And so we watch Vision have his forehead bling yanked out again. Hey, good thinking, Viz. Now why didn't you do that last time?
Hey, it's my favorite member of the Bureau.
Who I had brought here to mission control instead of locked in a room for some reason. No one sees this, including the security detail standing directly behind him. Are we sure Sward doesn't stand for some worthless, oblivious random dudes?
You could be a part of that victory, Jimmy. If only you had a little more vision.
I'll be the one to handle the terrible name-based puns around here. I'm betting he didn't put much thought at all into that one, and that's worth a Holson. I said they were terrible. When in doubt, just break the fence for that perfect shot. No need to make it look like the fence has flaws in other places. Nope, just make your hero face hole and call it a day.
Did you know there's an entire chapter devoted to you in the Darkhold?
Agatha slacks off on enunciating the D, and for a second I thought the Book of the Damned was called The Dark Hole, which, if it hadn't already been the name of my high school hyperpop band, might have actually been better. Oh good, I'm not the only person that keeps an 8.5 by 11 headshot of myself in my man cave. I was teased relentlessly by my dude bros, but honestly, you never know when you need one.
You're Ralph Boner?
Boner.
No. 1,000 times no. First, if your name is Boner, you've heard this joke a million times and are not going to Beavis your response to your own name. Second, why does Ralph only have super speed in that necklace? If she was using him anyway, why didn't she give him other powers like super strength or even a smidgen of intelligence? Why not fully use the power of boners to your advantage, Agatha? And finally, the fact that you look exactly like Pietro from another movie, that was all a coincidence? I'm the fan, and you must submit to all my theories on the multiverse and mutants, and I wrote a whole thesis already, and how dare you act like this is your story to tell when my mind was already made up?
My husband's on a business trip. Tell him I love him.
This brings up a good point. How are there not hundreds of loved ones outside this town that haven't been able to reach their children, spouses, parents, college buddies, etc.? Wouldn't those people have contacted the authorities?
Your grief is poisoning us.
Why trust your metaphor when you can just have your characters explicitly spell it out? Anyone else worried about Mr. Hart? He never shows up again after the first episode, and now I'm wondering if he tried to eat steak again when Vision wasn't around to do a metaphysical tracheotomy.
If you won't let us go, just let us die. Please.
I will.
Wait, what?
I will let you go. I will.
Oh, I thought this was actually about to get fresh and interesting again. Head laser, head laser, head laser, head laser, head laser. Excitement.
You tied your family to this twisted world, and now one can't exist without the other.
Thanks for breaking this emotional moment up by having a character explicitly lay out what we already know. Why won't you trust me, Marvel? I've been watching the whole time. Look, I don't mind a bit of an homage, but this is so The Incredibles, they should have to pay whatever company owns Pixar some royalties for this. Not to beat a dead Vision here, but how does any of this fight make any sense? If they can phase through each other, why do any of their punches land ever? Why do super powerful beings always end up punching each other?
Why are you doing this? My programming directive is to destroy the Vision.
But my script directive is to pause for philosophical conversations occasionally as well.
I request elaboration.
Every f***ing fan's response after the end of this f***ing episode somehow makes it into the f***ing script. Aw yes, here's a wholesome MCU moment where a man decides to straight up murder some children. It's okay though, because we get to see Monica's sweet powers, so nobody really cares too much, but this is still an absolute sin. Also, that's right, Monica's entire storyline about getting her powers boils down to absorbing a few bullets that the kids could have taken care of themselves anyway. If you look up anticlimactic in the dictionary, it just says, we were going to put a picture of Monica Rambeau here, but we were too bored.
Have fun in prison!
Ladies and gentlemen, the entirety of Darcy's finale story arc.
You are familiar with the thought experiment that shipper Theseus in the field of identity metaphysics?
No, but I am familiar with the philosophical bullshit of plot Theseus in the field of convenient and underwhelming story resolutions.
That was easy.
I am Vision.
And so, Vizbino flies out of the Hex without becoming damaged from the cell restructuring properties of said Hex, and then finds a simple place to destroy himself as that is his directive. Speaking of directives, Vision also said he was going to destroy Wanda. Has that somehow changed now that he saw her in some memories? Memories which revealed that she had once murdered him?
You see the difference between you and me? So you did this on purpose.
How does Wanda know anything about this moment in Agatha's past? Did she watch that last episode too?
You are the Scarlet Witch.
I suppose now that we're seeing a long ago memory from Agatha's past turn into a zombie prophecy, we should all jump right in and believe whatever they say. I love you, so I hurt you. This rune reveal is clever, I guess? Except how and when did Wanda do this? How did she know how? Why did she play possum and pretend to be drained of her power? How did Agatha suck all the power in if she had no magic? How is she even flying with no magic? Once Wanda had the runes up there, why not just lock her down instead of letting her enemy and her own family think she was being destroyed first? And if she wasn't faking, how did she get her powers back? Even if you think you have answers to some of these questions, this scene is hella confusing. Honestly, nothing makes any sense now that the show has been completely ruined. And red beats purple because reasons, and I'm happy, I think.
Oh, God. You don't know what you've done.
Nope. It's almost like someone should have told her all about the pros and cons of coming into her power before provoking her to come into her power. But then where would we be for all the upcoming MCU content, eh? What? I assumed Agatha had been fighting barefoot this entire time. You know, considering she Wizard of Oz'd her battle boots back by the car.
I'll give you the role you chose. The nosy neighbor.
For how long? And on what show? Is Westview not going back to normal? What even is this punishment?
Should we head home?
Nope, because you can't go home until it's dark outside. It's far more dramatic that way. Ah, yes, there we go. Instant evening.
Your mother and I, very proud of you both.
Very proud.
And now we're going to release you to the existential nothingness, even though we could probably simply leave the bubble intact over just our house. Enjoy annihilation. Toodles! It's somewhat believable that the very logical Vision would embrace his impending death with a sort of casual whelp, but the kids? We're to believe they hunker down in bed after a mad rush of superpower adrenaline all day? Mom and Dad are like, well, we love you, good night, and the boys just close their eyes and ask zero questions about the collapsing glowing wall or why they were being disintegrated earlier. MCU said skip.
You, Vision, are the piece of the Mind Stone that lives in me.
Oh.
Who knows what I might be next?
A plot convenience. I'm calling it.
So long, darling.
I'm not crying. You're crying. No, seriously, I'm not crying. Because despite this entire series supposedly being about grief and letting go, we end up with another Vision in the world with the memories of the real Vision, and there are never actual consequences for anything. For dramatic sake, it sure is good all these people just hung around out here instead of running to call loved ones or running away from the giant witch battle for shelter or any of a number of other things that actual humans would do in this situation. Also, fine, what Wanda did was super f***ed up, whether she meant to or not, but is anyone going to ask her for a Newtown pool before she goes?
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
Oh, come on. She didn't sacrifice anything for them. She created this whole thing and sunk and placed them into her fantasy having her nightmares, and her loss had already happened before they even entered the picture. Wanda is the villain, pure and simple. You know it. I know it. I'm just wondering if Marvel will ever know it.
Given the chance and giving your power, I'd bring my mom back.
Then you've learned nothing, and none of us have learned anything, and why did we even all go through this? That's it? That's it? What about all the winks at the multiverse, the Fox Universe X-Men, the aerospace engineer, Nexus? It's one thing to have reveals that may be a bit underwhelming, but it's another thing to leave every single loose thread that you specifically dangled hanging. There are so many unconsummated teases in this show that they should have just titled the final episode Plot Blocked. Also, what about the whole TV show concept? I may have been wrong about a couple things. The created by WandaVision sin and thinking the messenger was in on it come to mind, but the vast majority of the observations still ring true. How was she controlling the episodes? Were they airing in real time? Why did she even air them in the first place? Why didn't she do a Who's the Boss episode? What was up with those commercials? Who aired those? And were those people in the town? And what about Beekeeper Guy? For the love of God, how did she rewind time? And what does that mean happened to Beekeeper Guy? So fine, take a couple sins back for the times I was wrong, but I'm adding another 10 sins for the times I was right. And here's an extra 5 just for Beekeeper Guy.
He'd like to meet with you. Where?
The theater attic? Multitasking.
You've just been erased.
Want to hang out with us on a live stream? We don't care if you're on the toilet, in your mom's basement, or in the broom closet. Just put on some deodorant and join us during Sin Week 2021. March 22nd through 26th, we'll release 3 extra Sins videos and go live 4 times to hang out with you. All you have to do is become a Sin Club member at patreon.com/cinemasins. Do it now! That way you're the first to learn about our evil plans. And if you join today, you have time to watch over 70 exclusive videos and podcasts. See you the week of the 22nd.
So you want to play rough, do you?
It really was no miracle. What happened was just this.
I'm crushing your head.
You're bluffing.
Mr. Son of a Beach, let's play some cards.
Nice tricks.
I've been led to understand that tricks are exclusively for children.
To the witch, wench!
I just wanted to see you clearly.
Good luck.
And remember, don't it up.